So the major, like we said, Sage is an accounting software, and that software uses accounting principles. And also, the major thing you're going to be doing is posting transactions using your general journals and your source document. The system will automatically generate your ledgers, your trial balance, your trading profit and loss balance sheet, and cash flow. So for the duration of this class, we're going to learn how to enter transactions using our journals and source documents. It looks simple, but the course outline you were given is all about that. The course outline you were given is all about your source documents, from the introduction down to the report. All these are just source.
You didn't finish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all these are just source documents. Okay, so now we are going to start. The Sage 50 is like other softwares, is practical, it's straight to the point, and is hands-on. So we're going to start. Now, if you look at the window, the Sage icon is this Apple sign. If I show you my desktop, you're going to see, let me show you my desktop. You're going to see how it looks like. So that when you see it, desktop will not come up. However, as desktop is shy. However, on your desktop, you're going to see this Apple sign. That is the sign for Sage 50. Now, when you double click, it's going to take you to this welcome page. It's going to take you to this home page. In this home page, you have options: open an existing company and creating a new company. Of course, the first thing we'll have to learn in this class is how do I create a new company using Sage 50, because you're going to be posting transactions in your own company when you're doing your own practice. You have to give me 5 minutes. They just took the power. Let me power on the gen. But to create your own company, you just click on create a new company, the tab here. You can create a new company. When you do that, it's going to take you to the introduction page. You'll create a new company. The system will require you to have your company name and address. To require you to have the type of business you do. To require you to have an accounting method. These are all requirements that you will need when you begin the process. So I believe I have all this in my head or written down somewhere. So I'm going to say next. So while you study this table, let me just put on my gen. Just give me 1 minute. I believe you can hear me. You can hear me, right? It's like Kunle stepped out. So just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to start. You can hear me, Shane?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to start with providing our company name. The company name can be any name. Let me use Hot Limited. And I'll provide the address. State, city, country, telephone. Then the business type. Limited liability company. And all these IDs, I don't need them. My website. My email. Next. When you are done with all this, providing these information, you click on next. Now, next will take you to methods to create your own company. In Sage, you have 4 methods. Please ask questions as the class progresses, and I'll get back to you. The first method is use a sample business type that closely matches your company. Now, what it means is that on Sage, there are already existing companies. We call them sample companies that Sage thinks that will help you in creating your own company. So if you want to create your own company using that format, you can do that. The second option is select settings from an existing history company. If I have company already existing and I want to create this my new one, I can create my new one using the settings of that previous one. The third is convert a company from another accounting program. You can create your own company by, for example, if you have QuickBooks, I want to convert QuickBooks, you want to convert that company in QuickBooks to Sage, you can create your own company using that other method. Then the last one says build your own chart of accounts. Like you see here, designed for accountants and advanced users. This one is to start your own company from scratch. But like I said, it's for advanced users. So for the sake of this class, we are going to be using the first option. And when you see on this option that will tell you most companies choose this. So we're going to be use sample business type that closely matches your company. Then we'll say next. When you say next, it will take you to select a type of business. So it depends on what your organization is into. If your organization is into buying and selling, there are different kinds of businesses, advertising, chemical manufacturing, a lot. But all businesses are fall under two categories: retail and service. So we're going to use a company that carries both retail and service. So we're going to go to retail and service company, or sales and service company. We're going to select sales and service company. Now, if you notice, there is something called chart of accounts by the side. Chart of accounts are your ledgers. Like we have in manual accounting where we draw up ledgers. In Sage, chart of accounts are called your ledgers. Now, the system is already suggesting to you the kind of ledgers your company will have based on the company you selected. We will have the opportunity of changing these ledgers even after we have created the company. So there is no cost per alarm. So after this, we are going to, since we have selected the company we want to use, we are going to click on next. When you click on this, it's going to tell you choose an accounting method. Now we have different kinds of accounting methods. We have the accrual method and the cash method. Of course, we call it the accrual concept, or the just ways of keeping your records. Now, in the accrual, the system is telling us that income is recorded when a sale occurs, regardless of when you actually receive money. Expenses are recorded when you receive goods or services, even though you may not pay the bills for them until later.
Please, let me quickly turn on Jay, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what it means is that for accrual, you're going to be having debtors and creditors. While for your cash, you're just going to be recognizing income when you receive the money. So there is nothing like debt. There's nothing like creditors and debtors in your cash. You're not going to be having debtors. So when you're creating your company, you need to select the accounting method to use. We're just going to pause and I'll wait for Bunde to return itself.
Okay, please take me back to.
You said?
Take me back to the next page, sir. To the previous page.
Okay.
Where we have select a business type. Okay, I didn't know the chart of accounts. What did we choose here? What did we select on the
this chart of accounts here?
Yeah. What did we choose?
Okay. See, what the chart of accounts here is saying is that because of the company you chose,
okay,
it's just recommending some ledgers. For example, you can see cash on hand. You can see petty cash. These are just ledgers. They are what you use to post transactions.
Okay, not that we chose any. We didn't choose anything there, right?
No. The company, you can't choose anything here.
Okay.
The company you choose will give you will suggest the ledgers you will have, but we're not changing anything here.
Okay.
So we're going to click on next. Right, to tell us choose a posting method. Now we have two methods of posting on Sage. We have the real time and we have the batch posting. Real time means that once we click save or once we post a transaction, it will automatically affect our groups, our records. While batch means that we're going to be saving transactions in batches. Then after we have gone through them, gone through each of the batch, we can now post it. So we're going to be using real time. We want our data to be real time. We'll use real time. Posting method real time. Click on next. The next says choose an accounting period structure. Of course, some people's accounting period is 6 months, some 8 months, but ideally or in practice, most companies use 12 months. So we're going to be using 12 months period structure. Now, they say we should choose the first period of our fiscal year. We are going to be starting from January, so that our financial year will be from January to December. Click on next. You are ready to create your company. So this is just the process or the processes of the stages you go through before you have a company existing on stage 50. And you click on finish. When you click on finish, it will take its time to create the data file. So the page is opening. Now this is what Sage 50 looks like. This is called the interface. As lovely as it looks. I'm going to explain what you see and explain the interface so that we can.
Please, sir. Just continue. I will meet you.
Okay. So that we can move on. Now, the first thing you have here is called the title bar. The title bar is the bar you have at the top that has your company name. These other ones are called the menu bar. Menu bar, you have file, edit, list, maintain, task, analysis, options, reports. All these are called your menu bar. This bar here is called your navigational bar.
Okay.
Your navigational bar, you have modules. Your navigational bar, you have the various modules or work area. First of them is called business status. This page that is showing is called the business status page. It's called the business status page. The next page that just opened is business status. The next page is your customer and sales. The next page is your customer and sales. This is where you see transactions relating to your customer and for sales that you have performed. The next page is vendors and purchases. The next page is your vendors and purchases. Here you see information about your vendors and purchases that have been made. The next page is your inventory and services. Of course, if your business is into buying and selling or has stock items, or if you offer services, this is that page. The next page is your employee and payroll. Of course, this is where you track employee activities. The next page is for your banking. The next page shows your banking. Now, like I said, these are all navigational pages. It takes you to different areas on Sage. This one is called the system. This is where you do your backup, where you back up and you restore on Sage 50. Now, let's talk about the business status, because this page is very, very important. The business status page is very important. Now, in the business status page, you have where you call your business status line. This line here is your business status line. The options there we need to go through. The first option there is hide. But before we hide, all these windows we see here, we have account balances, year to date, customers who owe money, vendors to pay. All these pages appear in your customer status depending on how it has been customized. So the account balances here shows you account balances of your cash accounts, your bank accounts, and others. Year to date here shows you a summary of how your business is doing, your profit and loss. This one shows you customers who owe money. This one shows you vendors you're owing. Then this one, ages. This one is called age receivables. What the Windows does is to age your receivables or age your payables. Now back to the business status line. In the business status line, we have options like hide. If you don't want someone to see what you're doing, you can hide that page. As you can see, once I click hide, the page is hidden. If I click show, the page comes out. The next is refresh. Please, whenever you save anything on Sage, if you want that thing to reflect on your account or reflect on your status or your business status, you need to do what we call refresh. Refreshing is just updating your database to carry the new information. Here's the second. Okay. So you can refresh as many times as possible. Can refresh as many times as possible. The next page is print. Of course, if you want to print this window, you use print. The next is system date. System date is today's date. Now, this is important, period. Period. Period is very important. This is, your period is broken down into various months and for 2 years. What we have here is 2020 and 2021. When you get to 2022, Sage will require you to archive. It will require you to archive your 2020 data. If you don't archive, 2022 will not come out. And your period is broken down into various months. So now it is in April, that's why I have period 4. If we get to May, the system will not automatically update. You will need to go and change this period to May by yourself. You see now it's period 5. If you don't change it when you get to May, you might not get enough information of transaction you posted in May. So it's important that every month you change your fiscal period, your fiscal period that is in months. Please take note so that you will not be looking for transactions. Then of course, the next option is make this page default page. So that whenever we open Sage, this page will show. Then the last is customize this page. You see, this customize this page, all these windows that came out was a result of how the page was customized. You can also customize your page as you want. So this is just explaining the interface on Sage. Remember, for every month, you will need to change your accounting period. The accounting period is in period 4. Period 4 means April. When I get to May, I will need to change my period to period 5 by just, you click on period, double click on May. It will automatically change to period 5. If I want to go back to period 4, I will click on period, double click on April. It will take you to period 4. Now,
for you to access the records.
You said?
For you to, is it for you to access records for
Yes.
that month, for that period?
Yes. If you're in period 5, if you're in period 4, and you have entered May, and you don't change your period to May, when you post transactions in May, you might not see them reflecting on your business status because you're on the wrong period. And also, when you want to do correction and make adjustments, you need to change your period to the period you're making the adjustment so that that adjustment can reflect effectively. So that is, and when you enter a new month, please, if you are done with the previous month or you want to post transaction in the new month, change your period to the new month so that you can manage your transactions effectively. Now, just explaining what the interface looks like. The next thing we are going to go to is, we're going to start with, I'll just explain these tabs. The first one is File. In File, you see options like creating a new company, opening a previous company. For example, if I have more than one company here, if I want to see those companies, I go to File and I'll go to Open Previous Company. So you see a lot of companies listed. You can do up to 40 companies on Sage. Now you have new company. If you want to create a new company, you can click on your new company option. If you want to close this company, you click on Close Company. Setup guide is just a guide that shows you how Sage 50 works. You have print preview, create PDF, backup. Depending on your company's policy and the frequency of transaction, you need to back up regularly so that if anything happens to your system or your Sage file, you can retrieve that file. We'll talk about that at the end of the class.
Okay.
Then you have import and export. You can import transactions on Sage, but they must be on Sage format. It's very important. Data verification. After your process transactions, you can verify the data. The verification is on reliability and data access. It is just to test how reliable your controls are, to test how the access to your data or the access to the workstation. It's advisable that regularly you do your data verification. The next option is edit. In edit, that's where you can find transactions. In edit, you find transactions. The next one is list. List shows you a list of transactions you have already created. List shows, for example, if I want to see list of customers, list of vendors, list of employees, it just shows you list of the transactions you have created. Where we are going to spend some time today is on maintain. It's on maintain. So in our maintain, the first thing we are going to maintain, or the first thing you maintain when you open your Sage, is what we call default information. Now take note, when you buy a new phone, the phone comes with the default information. It will require you to set that phone, set the date, set the year, set the country, set everything so that it can be in a usable form for you. Every software has a default. You need to look at the default to make sure the default is in a good state for you to be able to work with. Now we are going to look at default for all these items. Anyone we need to change, we'll change them. Anyone that is not necessary to our use, we'll let it be. So we're going to start with default information for our customers. So when I click on customers, the window set up customer default is going to open. So we're going to look at, in the customer default, you have standard term, credit term, then your GL account. This standard term talks about, all these two terms talks about invoicing. Talks about debt. How are you going to be relating with your customers based on debt and when they are supposed to pay back? And if they pay back on time, what discount are you going to be giving to them? First of all, the standard term has 5 standard terms. One is COD. COD means cash on delivery. Of course, we are not using cash basis, so COD will not apply. The next is prepaid. Are you going to be relating to your customers based on prepaid relationship? That means, are they going to be paying in advance before you give them service or supply them with service, with inventory.
We have some like that,
Yes.
especially new ones.
You said?
We may have some
Yes.
under prepaid.
If you have stock, yes. Or even if you have service, will they pay you in advance before you come and deliver the service? So that is prepaid. Due in a number of days means if they are going to owe you, you need to set the days. The number of days is going to be due, when they are going to pay back, and other options. Due on the day of the next month. That means if you invoice a customer today, the debt for the customer is due to pay back on or before day of the next month, a particular day of the next month. Due at the end of the month means that at the end of the month, all your customer, because this setting is for all your customers. When we go to individual customers, you're going to learn how to set up discounts and credit terms for them. But this will apply to all your customers. So in most cases, we leave this, because it applies to all your customers, we don't set up this limit because it's going to affect your transactions. What will most
so
of the
standard terms is only one option.
Yes, this will apply to all your customers. But what this means is that next due in these 30 days, that means all your customers will pay within 30 days. If they pay within 20 days, they will have a discount of 5%. Then the credit limit is 1 million. That means you're not allowed to owe your customer or generate an invoice above 1 million. That's what credit limit means. The credit status here means hold over limit. What it means is that if an invoice is going above 1 million, the system will not process it. But there are other options. Always notify. That means when it's going above 1 million, the system should notify you. The next one is hold over limit. The next one is always hold. So this option has to do with the credit limit you have placed on your customers. So the right option to select is always notify. So that any invoice that is going above 1 million, the system should notify you. At the bottom, what you have here are your ledgers. The accounts that will track, whenever you make a sale, the account that will track that particular transaction. The next thing we will go through briefly is aging. Aging talks about how is your invoice being aged. Do you age your invoice based on invoice date or based on due date? Meanwhile, let's remove this so that it doesn't apply to all our customers. We are going to be aging our invoice based on due date. So that when the date is due, the system will start aging that debt. Debts are aged between 1 to 30 days, 30
Hello,
to
sir.
60 days, there's 60 to 90 days.
Sorry. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, let me take you back.
Okay.
Sorry, because the network I'm using is my hotspot, so I had a call, so I got cut off from the.
Okay.
So I don't know if I should take you back to that. Okay. From this credit limit now, let me.
Okay. Yes. These credit limits, you have options to your credit limits. Remember, the credit limit is an amount above which your customers cannot owe you. But you have options here that can apply. The first option is no credit limit. What it means is that you're not using credit limit for your customers. The next one is notify over limit. What it means is that when you want to do a transaction above 1 million, the system should notify you whether to accept or reject. The next one says always notify. Whether it's less than 1 million or it's more than 1 million, the system should notify you. The next is hold over limit. When you want to do an invoice more than 1 million, the system will not process it because you have done a setting that it should hold over limit. Always hold means that it should always hold. But we're going to be using notify over limit.
Before you close this page, I have a question.
Yeah, the next is aging.
Hello, sir.
The essence is to age your invoice, is to age your debt.
Hello, can you hear me, Mr. Kelechi? Okay, please, can we go back to terms and credits? Okay, under the GL sales account, what if we have maybe like 1 or 2 account heads that we post our sales to? Maybe we have renter and we have the other one. If you have 2 heads, how do we manage it?
I didn't hear you clearly. Sorry, the gen is worrying. Can you speak out louder?
Okay, I said in the bottom field where we have GL sales account. Under GL sales account field.
Under these 2.
Yes, that particular one. What if we have 2 account heads for our sales?
Okay, now these 2 accounts here are ledgers that track sales and discounts.
That's where it will be posted to now. No, I'm talking about the sales account.
You're talking about?
I'm talking about the sales account. That's where the sales will be posted. The sales account. Sales,
okay, just wait.
Sales account, turnover.
Okay. Well, let me do something.
Okay.
Okay, try and speak.
Okay. Under the GL sales account.
Okay.
You know, that's the account we link sales to.
Yeah.
To be posted, right? Okay, I'm now saying, for example, we have 2 account heads for our sales. Maybe we have normal sales and maybe renters.
Okay.
So how do we manage this field now? Because all the posting now will be going to this sales account.
Remember, this is default. When we create the services or the item, we'll have opportunities to specify which account will track that item, which sales account will track it. But this is just for default. Okay, account aging, like I said, ages your invoices. So you can, if you want to see debts that are 60 days due or 90 days due, you can use account aging. The next is custom fields. These are just fields that come up when you are setting up your customers. Contact, reference, mailing, and all. Finance charges. Finance charges are charges that apply to your customers when they fail to meet up with the credit terms. So if somebody is supposed to make payments within 30 days and the person doesn't make that payment, charges should apply. And charges can apply annually or when there are a number of days overdue. But we are not going to set this here because it will apply. it will have effect on our transaction. But when we go to individual customers, you can set up finance charges. Payment method, this just shows you the payment method you're going to be having. You can add more. What is here is cash, check, Visa, MasterCard. I can add transfer. So these are just payment methods. So when you're done, you say, okay. You go to maintain default information. Remember, we are just looking at the default information, making sure that the informations are okay for us to use. We go to vendors. The same thing applies for vendors. Vendors have standard terms and credit terms. So, but if you notice, on our vendor, the expense account is not defined. It's empty.
Okay.
You can observe that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So that is why you need to go to your default information. If we had started posting transactions without going here, we would have encountered a problem. So we are going to look for a cost of sales account that will track or a purchase account that will track our purchases. Remember, these accounts here were automatically created for you by Sage. But when we learn about chart of accounts, you are definitely going to know how to create your own account. So we are going to look for cost of sales. We'll use cost of goods sold number 1. So that this account will track our cost of purchase. The same thing, aging will age your payables. Your payables can be aged within 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Custom fields. Then 109, these are tax settings. So you don't actually do anything on this area. So that is that. Remember, for vendors, you need to provide an expense account so that when you're creating your own company, please go to your default and make sure that everything is okay before you start. It's very important. You say, okay. Go to tax again. Go to maintain, default, employees. Now, it will tell you, would you like to set up payroll wizard? Now, remember, Sage has a payroll module, a payroll software different from the software. So if you want to use the payroll feature on Sage, you will need to purchase your payroll module. Is an add-on module on Sage. So for our payroll, we might not be using the feature effectively because of that limitation, although we will create employees and set up 1 or 2 things. But for basic things, for tax issues and all that, we might not be using the payroll. But let us do the setup. Same with you, when you are working on your default, please just do the setup. We're not doing anything other than just clicking next. Next. Now it says tax update service. You say do it yourself because this one will go online. Say next. 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 Finish. So that is all you do on your payroll. Just next, 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 and you finish. Remember, all these things I'm doing, I'm supposed to refresh. So I'll refresh my system so that it will update these changes I've made. Go to maintain again, go to default information, and go to inventory items. Now, we might not be doing much here. The first option says allow duplicates, universal stock keeping unit numbers. We are not allowing duplicates, so we leave it blank. Ordering, these are just options to select to make sure your sales works well. Available quantity, include purchase orders when calculating available quantity. No. Sales and invoice, do not want. One, if inventory item is sold as based on quantity on hand, you will select that option. Sales orders. One, if inventory is out of stock based on quantity on hand, you will select that one. Automatically create purchase orders. Enable automatic creation from dropship transactions. No, we are not doing that. So these are just settings we need to put in place. GL accounts. Now, all these are set by default. So please, except you want to change them, like I said, these are default information. These ones are okay. You might not need to do anything. Taxes, regular taxes. Shipping method, there are various shipping methods here. So price levels, we have price levels. So we're not doing much here other than this option. So we say, okay. That is maintaining inventory. We look at jobs, maintaining default information for jobs. To say general, one, if line item is not assigned to a job, I don't think that is necessary because most transactions are not job related. So you should let it be. Then status. These are your status for jobs. Green means in progress. Yellow means pending. Blue means completed and the rest. Custom fields are also available. So we are not doing much on these areas. General ledger, we only have a retained earnings account. So please leave your retained earnings account so that when we are done, it can calculate our retained earnings based on our transaction. So in that, you say, okay. So we are done with setting up our default information. Remember, it's the first thing you should do. So make sure you do it. We are now going to go into more practical aspects. We're going to start with maintaining information for our customers. Maintaining information for our customers. we're going to use this customer as an example. So please write it out so that when I change the window, you're going to give me the information.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to start with maintaining information for our customers. Or you're going to be giving me the information as we proceed. Now, if customers are those you purchase, are those that buy from you, okay, so we're going to learn how to set them up. By set up, we mean create their basic information so that if you need to communicate with them or contact them for any information, you can easily do that. You can easily do that. So how do we create customers on Sage? You go to maintain, just take your notes, take the step, so that in your own time you can do it by yourself. Go to maintain, then you go to customer and prospect. Window opens. So the next thing is that you provide the customer name, customer ID can be a code. This was the name of the customer, Hugo.
Best Limited.
Huge Best Limited.
Huh? Hugo Best.
Huge
Huge
Best.
Best Limited.
Okay, so we can say HB Limited. What's the address?
Okay.
20B, Abba Road.
Upper Road, PH.
Telephone?
090 88
8876.
76 454.
And the customer type, you can have this guy is a contractor. Oh. Okay. An email address.
What do you have in the drop down?
No, there is nothing in the drop down. But after this one now, they will start accumulating.
Okay.
You have email, website, and all. Your assignment will be linked to do all that. So the next thing we have is the next option here is contact. Contact you have. Who are you contacting on behalf of Google Guest? Mr. Okoye. Yes. No gender. No. Just basic information. Then the next one is history. We don't have any history with this man yet. Next is sales information. We are going to be shipping via airborne. The income account is service fees for now. Here I want to go to is payment and credit. Like I said, This man we had a credit term with this customer, right?
Yes.
The one by default is there already. See that 1 million we entered by default is there. But we need to change this default. So we are going to go to use default terms. Remember, we are in payment and credit. Then the option is use, go to terms and credit, click the drop down.
Okay.
So you go to payment and credit, go to terms and credit, click the drop down and select customize term for customer. When you do that, that default information window will reflect here. So instead to be due in a number of days, the number of days is 30.
30 days.
Yes. Discount in how many days?
15 days, 33%.
Remember to use this, tick this box, use discount.
Okay, 30, 15.
Those finance charge, there's no finance charge. Okay, so we are going to have this guy. So this is how to set up a customer on stage. You have two options here, prospect and inactive. If you're no longer doing business with this customer now or in the future, you select inactive.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you have started doing,
Okay.
if you have not started doing, but you feel it's going to be a prospect, you select prospect. If it's none of the above, you just leave them open. Now you have options here. You have save and new, delete. These are all options that you see on your customer window. So I'm going to say
the customer, to delete
yes,
the customer or a particular field.
Yes, to delete the customer information. You can delete.
Okay.
So I'm going to save. If I want to do a new one automatically or immediately, I'll click on save and new.
Okay.
When I save and new, it's going to open a fresh page. If I want to see what I've done, in this same window, I'll go to list. The information appears. Now, if I want to edit this customer basic information, all I need to do at the list area, I'll double click on the person's name. Maybe I want to put Huge Best Nigeria Limited. What is there is Huge Best Limited. I'll double click. That's to edit. Go to the Huge Best and put Nigeria. Then I'll save again and go to list. So if you want to edit anything on your, if you want to edit information on your customers, your inventory, your vendors, please always go to list. List will give you that. Yes, list will give you that opportunity. And you will, with that opportunity, you can edit or delete or do anything you want. So I'm going to close this page. Save again, I'll close this page. Then, now, if you observe, nothing has happened on my status bar because I'm not refreshed. So immediately I refresh and go to customer and sales, you'll see one customer is on my customer list. So you need to always refresh. Now let's create suppliers. The same step. You go to maintain and you go to vendors. The windows are alike for customer and vendor, so you just provide me with the information. Please, what's the name of the vendor?
Cisco Limited.
Cisco, okay.
Cisco Limited. CIX.
Okay, I need to have the contact of my vendor. What's his phone number?
080
4556
455 663 12.
Let's assume I have his account number. Address.
5
GRA
GRA
Link Road.
5 GRA Link Road. Gauge.
So after entering the account number, if you have his date, the address, the phone number, the country, and the rest. You go to the next tab, address. Sorry, give me a second. My journey is calling me. Just a second. I'd like to hear from you much later.